Hello, boys and girls. This is Mr. Perley from Touring with a Twist, and today we're going to start reading Big Nate in a Class by Himself. It's by Lincoln Pierce. And here, one of the first pages is a sneak peek at a secret code that'll be on page 18 for hints about what's in this awesome book. And you can take a look at the code after we finish reading the first chapter and decipher all the clues and find out what he's trying to tell you. And here's a cast of characters. There's Dad, Ellen, Francis, Ms. Clark, Ms. Godfrey, Principal Nichols, Teddy, Coach John, Mr. Rosa, Mr. Staples, Mr. Galvin, and Miss Sirwicki. Now for Chapter 1. In what year was the 14th Amendment to the Constitution ratified? She could have called on anybody. There are 22 other kids in the classroom, and they all had their hands up. Francis did. Teddy did. Gina did. Of course. Even Nick Blonsky, who usually sits in the back row with his pencil up his nose, had his hand up, had his hand raised. She could have called on one of them, right? Guess who she calls on? Nate! Yep. Mrs. Godfrey always does this. She always calls on me when I don't know the answer. And she can tell I don't know. You ever hear somebody say that dogs can smell fear? That's Mrs. Godfrey. She's like a dog. A big, ugly, nasty dog. Grrr. Mrs. Godfrey steps away from the chalkboard and starts towards me. She looks mad. No, worse than mad. She looks mean. Her face is flushed. I can see tiny flecks of spittle at the corners of her mouth. That's pretty gross. I brace myself. Then the bell rings and rings and keeps on ringing. Except it doesn't really sound like the school bell. It sounds more like, ring. I was dreaming. I blink hard and then let out a huge sigh of relief. I've never been so happy to hear that alarm clock in my entire life. Not that I'm ready to get up or anything. Closing my eyes again, I flop back down on my pillow. Time to go to school. Nab. Poof! Hey, thanks a lot, Dad. Way to break it to me gently. Nice parenting. Actually, his parenting skills aren't bad. He makes the nastiest tuna casserole you've ever tasted, but he's pretty harmless, especially compared to some of the psycho dads I've seen at Little League games. It's just that Dad's kind of clueless. He has no idea what it's like to be me. Here's a parental fact. Once you go bald, you completely lose your ability to relate to anybody under the age of 30. I mean, how long has it been since he was in middle school? 30 or 40 years? I think he's forgotten how it feels to be a prisoner all day long in a building that smells like a combination of chalk dust, ammonia, and mystery meat. He can't even remember what it's like to be an average 6th grader. Not that I'm an average 6th grader. Okay, I'll admit I'm not exactly Joe Honor Roll. But answer me this. When I get out there in the real world, is anybody going to care whether or not I know who was vice president under Warren G. Harding? Don't try to pretend that you know who it was, because you don't. The point is, I want to use my talents for more than just memorizing useless facts. I'm meant for bigger things. I am destined for greatness. I'm still not 100% sure what kind of greatness I'm destined for. I'll figure it out. I got options. I keep a list on my closet door about this very subject. Could have created greatness in soccer. I'm the goalie for our middle school team. Music. Enslave the Mollusk, the band I started with. Francis, Teddy, and Arthur. Rocks. Cartooning. I specialize in caricatures of teachers. And table football. I'm awesome at it, but it might be a tough way to make a living. There's also stuff I definitely won't achieve greatness in, like opera, synchronized swimming, and cat grooming. Enough said. let's get back to the unfortunate fact that today's a school day. But what kind? Not all school days are created equal. You can rank them by category. Just so you know, I'm really into ranking stuff. One time I spent a whole solid week ranking every kind of snack food I could think of. At the top, cheese doodles. At the bottom, rice cakes. And another dad fact. Dad handed out rice cakes for Halloween one year. That was also the year our house got egged. Connect the dots, Dad. Here you go, kids. What the? If I ever grade the different kinds of school days, report card style, here's how they'd stack up. A+, field trip days. I'm not talking about lame field trips when a teacher makes you walk around the neighborhood on Earth Day picking up trash. I'm talking about an all-day, get on a bus and go somewhere field trip. Even if they give you a worksheet in the hope that you might actually learn something, you can usually come up with an excuse not to do it. That's what I did last year when I went to the aquarium. I want to save my homework. B, special events day. This is when the classroom time gets eaten up by something better, like a movie or an assembly, or better yet, some kind of sort of emergency. Last spring, Miss Sirwicki's wig caught on fire and set off the smoke alarm in the faculty lounge. We got to evacuate the building and ended up playing ultimate frisbee on the lawn for an hour. That was awesome. Well, for everybody except Mrs. Sirwicki. Substitute C-, substitute teacher days. I think we can all agree that subs are almost always better than the real teachers. By better, I mean more clueless. The absolute best subs are the fresh out of college ones who have never taught a day in their lives. Frankly, they're not very bright. Or maybe they're just really gullible. Yeah, I know, the word gullible isn't in the dictionary. It's not. But Mr. Galvin always lets us chew gum in class. Okay, carry on. Then D, normal days. Unfortunately, most days are like this. You spend 6.5 action-packed hours studying subjects like photosynthesis and the War of 1812. Thrilling. You get home after school and your parents are like, what did you learn in school day? And you think about it for a solid 10 seconds, then say, I have the foggiest idea. F, train wrecks. There are so many ways for a school day to go wrong, it's almost impossible to list them. List them all. You could get screamed at by a teacher, usually Mrs. Godfrey, for absolutely no reason, which seems to happen to me a lot. You could get roughed up by Chester, the school bully. Looks like he spikes his chocolate milk with human growth hormone. Or your teacher could nail you with a quiz or a test you never saw coming. Oh, there's a horrifying thought. You have a test today? I don't remember any teacher mentioning a test yesterday. Like I already told you, I don't remember much of anything. They say, I usually start to lose interest right around the time I hear, settle down, class. Settle down, class, in teacher speak means, let the mind-numbing boredom begin. Yak, 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 yakety, yak, 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 yak. By the way, there's a test tomorrow, yak, 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 yak. It's times like this I wish I paid better attention in class, like Francis. Francis, he don't know whether or not we have a test today. Francis, fact. He insists on eating his lunch every day in alphabetical order. Apple, celery, sandwich, yogurt. Here's the thing about Francis. He knows just about everything. He's always got his nose buried in the book of facts. And he takes school pretty seriously. Truth is, he's kind of a geek. But I'm allowed to call him that because we're tight. We've known each other since the first day of kindergarten when he started snoring during nap time. So I hit him in the head with my Thomas the Tank Engine lunchbox, and we've been best friends ever since. Let me see if he's up yet. Yep, he's up. He's reading, of course. Wait a minute. Look what he's reading. His social studies textbook. So we must have a test today. Oh no. This is bad. This is very bad. First, because my social studies textbook is in my locker at school. And second, because I'm suddenly remembering what Mrs. Godfrey said to me after our last test. If you do poorly on this next test, Nate, you could very well end up in summer school. Yike. We've got social studies first period. It only gives me about 45 minutes to study my class notes. Class notes. Class notes. Where are my class notes? Here they are. There they are. Uh-oh. Well, home run. Big Nate. Well, it looks like my class notes aren't going to be much help. Unless Mrs. Godfrey gives us extra credit for doodling. I'm dead. End of chapter 1. Here is clues to the puzzle earlier in the book. You can go back to the first couple of pages, and when I start the next time, I'll have the answers for the puzzles for you, but try to work them out yourself. And that is the end of chapter 1. We'll pick up with chapter 2 next time. Thank you, boys and girls.